every baby in this room has been abandoned. 500 children a month are exported for adoption with government approval.
This orphan making procedure was totally illegal.
It still seems so hard to fathom. Innocent children stripped of their identities, shipped out of Korea en masse, arriving here in Canada in waves. Clinging on to clues in papers they held so dearly for so long, now finding out those documents are full of lies.
People played God.
Authorities overlooking red flags buried deep in the National Archives of Canada. And it seems our story about these so-called paper orphans sparked something.
Hi! So nice to meet you!
You too!
We're foster sisters. I didn't even think about that. Everyone talks about coming out of the fog, and that's exactly what happened to me. Like, I was like, what?
Oh.
There's a community? What?
Chats like this are happening across the country. Korean Canadian adoptees are coming together and having much needed conversations. Some are lighthearted like this one, others a bit more difficult as they face the reality that their adoption papers were likely falsified. Since our story came out, we've received countless emails. Many Canadians had no idea about this issue, and one story in particular stood out.
This is Hwa Taylor. She was adopted at the age of 4 by a BC family and grew up believing she was an orphan. Now 53, she saw our story in the fall and reached out.
I just kind of fell to the floor and just cried because it mirrored everything that I had been told all my life. The narrative I grew up with, basically that I was abandoned, that there were no family. It was just that critical moment where it gave me that hope.
What caught Mihwa's eye in the story was Leah Kim Brighton.
So I came with this little backpack.
An adoptee herself, half her life she thought she was an orphan. She eventually reunited with her parents and now devotes herself to helping others do the same.
It's really, for many of myself and my peers, not an accurate description of who we actually are and the family that we actually have. And sometimes the family that is very much looking for us today.
In our journey, we also helped a family reconnect in their mother tongue.
She says, I love you.
I love you, mommy.
사랑한대요.
It was beautiful, yet painful. A language barrier between mother and son. Her baby boy taken against her will.
I miss you. I love you. 우리 정수.
A lifetime later, her heartbreak still lingers. Mihwa needed to know the truth. With Leah's help, she submitted a DNA test. Within weeks, she had a match. All along, she had 2 biological sisters.
I was not even aware that I might have sisters. And so when she told me this, I was just beside myself. I mean, I was crying, of course. And it's really hard to put into words how I felt.
Her sisters always wondered what happened to the little toddler who disappeared from their home one day. They looked for her for decades. The truth was hard to hear.
My mother passed away when I was 3 years old. My father went out of town, and my grandmother and his elder sister decided to take me to the orphanage. They did it out of hope that we would have a better life. When he came home, we were gone, and he didn't know about it. So it really broke him for most of his life.
A generational search now over. A lifelong reunion awaited.
Okay, so on my way to see my sisters. It's very, very exciting. Yeah, it won't be long.
The trio agreed to meet right away. One sister boards a plane from Korea. Mihwa and her family jump in the car.
Okay, Mom, we just got in the car. What are your feelings? Are you excited?
I'm going to meet my whole family for the first time in 50 years, so I'm pretty excited.
What are you most looking forward to?
A hug.
Aw.
When we got off the plane, I knew my sisters were going to pick me up, and then they saw me and ran towards me. We all just started like crying, and I think the first words out of their mouth was, "Oh, my daddy." Because they said that I looked just identical to my dad. So that was really emotional. I could almost feel like cracks that were being filled and healing that was beginning. I think most of my life I had gotten really good at telling myself that I was okay with it, that it doesn't matter, you know, you're Canadian, you don't have to know your roots to be a full person. It was getting down to those really dark holes that you had that you worked a lot of years to cover up. And it was like there was just some light beaming into it, you know. It was just incredible. It was probably the single most best moment of my life, and I've had a lot of good moments.